The athlete load in pitching can vary. A lot of it is based upon how an athlete moves best, but it is important to keep in mind what we're trying to accomplish. So the reason why a weight shift is a staple move in the load portion of the movement, of the motion for us here at S2, is because when we are loading, we are trying to accomplish two main things. The first thing that we are trying to accomplish is being able to put force into the ground, both a vertical component and a horizontal component. So something as simple as being able to like sit down into a squat would primarily put too much force into the ground from a vertical side. We know that our launch has to have both of those components to be able to give the arm enough time to travel overhead and sync up with the trunk. So the weight shift alone is allowing us to be able to work from the heel all the way into the ball of the foot and feel as if there are two components, two directions to the force that we're putting into the ground. The second thing is that in addition to being able to put force into the ground in both a vertical and horizontal component, we want to make sure that we are able to generate stretch through the back side or the posterior side of the body. So when I go and get into this load, as I'm putting force into the ground, what I want to feel is a stretch through the arch of the foot, calf, hamstring, and up through the glute. This posterior stretch through the back side of the body is what ultimately is going to allow us to launch from the ground, to use the force that we're getting back from the ground to get into posture and start unraveling rotation. So for those athletes who we have been able to collect data on who do not utilize a weight shift, what we typically see is that they are not able to achieve the right timing in the air, and ultimately it impacts their trunk arm timing, or where their arm is in space in relation to when they land at stride foot contact. And in addition, we typically see that at the launch phase, they end up pulling away from that stretch and don't have that posterior load or that posterior stretch to get them into good posture at the launch. So again, not every pitcher's load needs to look identical. It's very much centered around how they move and what works for them. But the weight shift is absolutely the best way that we can accomplish the end game of what we're going for. Direction or force in the ground in both directions while accomplishing stretch in the back side of the body.